The billionaire returned home unexpectedly. What he saw his wife doing to his mother shocked him. A billionaire, Andrew Bain's mother, weak, old, and someone who deserved rest, respect, and authority in the house, had somehow become a servant, and all of this was because of his arrogant, rude wife. She forced the elderly woman to serve her, clean after her, and do all the work of the mansion. But this cruelty didn't continue for long. One afternoon, Andrew returned home from his office to pick up a forgotten file. The moment he stepped into the hall, he froze. His breath stumbled. His eyes widened because what he saw, the condition of his mother and the behavior of his wife, shocked him to his core. He didn't even move at first. His hand still rested on the door handle, file bag hanging from his shoulder, his tailored suit still perfect from a long morning of meeting. But inside him, something cracked. The mansion, bright, white marbled, immaculate, held a silence that was wrong. Not peaceful, not calm, wrong, heavy. Then he heard it, a thin, shaky voice, a choke breath, a sound that didn't belong. His mother. Please, give me a moment, dear. I just need to catch my breath. Her voice was barely above a whisper. Fragile. Andrew's spine stiffened. He stepped forward, quiet but fast, following the sound of the hall until he reached the living room arch. And then he saw it. His mother, his soft-spoken, gentle, 80-year-old mother, stood bent over, holding a silver tray full of teacup. Her hands were shaking so badly the porcelain rattled. Sweat dampened her hairline. Though the air-conditioned room was cool, her breathing was uneven, shallow. She was wiping the marble floor, on her knees, a rag beside her. Andrew's chest tightened so painfully he almost reached for it. But before he could speak, he heard another voice. Light, sweet, sugar-dipped. His wife. Oh, Mama Bain. Sweetheart, come on. Lily cooed from the couch, voice dripping with fake honey. You know I like my tea fresh, not lukewarm. Just try to move a little quicker, okay? Tiredness is just in your mind. Andrew's jaw clenched. Lily, beautiful, polished, a perfect image of elegance, sat comfortably with her legs crossed, phone in one hand, a glossy smile on her lip. But her eyes, those cold, sharp eyes that Andrew could read better than anyone, were filled with irritation. She wasn't concerned. She wasn't helping. She was annoyed. And worse, she thought Andrew was still at work. His mother lifted the heavy tray again, but her hand slipped. The cups clattered. Andrew saw the panic in her eyes. Panic that she might be scolded for making noise. He stepped into the room before the tray could fall. Mom. Everything stopped. His mother stiffened, her shoulders jerking in surprise. She turned her head slowly, like she was scared to face him. Tears already blurred her vision, but she tried so desperately to hide them. Andrew, she whispered, a trembling smile forming. Oh, sweetheart, you're home early. Lily's head snapped up. Andrew, baby. She shot to her feet, her face transforming instantly into a bright, sweet expression. You're back. You didn't tell me. What a surprise. Andrew didn't even look at her. He took the tray from his mother gently, carefully, like the fragile weight wasn't the teacup. It was her. Mom, what are you doing? His voice was deep, low, cracking under control. She wiped her face quickly, pretending she wasn't crying. Nothing, darling. I was just helping out. You know me. Can't stay idle, right? She forced a laugh, but her legs trembled so violently she had to lean on the wall. Andrew touched her shoulder. It felt too light, too small. Helping, he whispered. You're shaking. Oh, this? Oh, no, it's nothing, she said, wiping her eyes discreetly. Just old bone. Don't worry. I'm perfectly fine. Lily walked over, her heels clicking, her arms stretching out like she was so happy to see him. She insisted, Andrew. I swear, I told her to rest. She just likes feeling useful. You know how elderly people are. They want to contribute. His mother nodded immediately, scared to make trouble. Yes, of course. Lily is right. I insisted, Andrew. I don't like sitting all day. It makes my body stiff. Her voice broke on the last word. Andrew finally looked at Lily. His eyes were ice. You told her to scrub the floors? Lily blinked dramatically, like she was offended he would even think that. What? Me? Andrew, no. I would never. I mean, look at me. I'm not that kind of person. She laughed lightly. Your mother just can't stay still. I told her 1,000 times to relax, but she's stubborn. His mother shook her head quickly. Andrew, she's right. Don't misunderstand. I'm fine. Truly, she wasn't fine. She could barely stand. Andrew reached for her arm, but she backed away slightly, ashamed. I don't want to cause problems, she whispered. Your wife is very busy. I don't mind doing a little work. A little work? Andrew cut in softly. This isn't a little work, Mom. Lily forced a smile. Baby, please, don't overreact. You know I love her. I always treat her well. Maybe you're tired from work. Maybe things look more dramatic when... Lily, he said calmly. Stop. She froze. His tone tone was dangerous. His mother swallowed, wiping her eyes again. But tears kept falling, silent, painful, uncontrolled. "Andrew," she said softly, "don't scold her. I don't want any tension in the house. I'm fine, truly, just a little tired. I'm old, that's all." The lie hurt him more than the truth. He kneeled down in front of her, right there on the cold marble floor, like a man who had just discovered he'd failed the person he loved most. "Mom," he whispered, "look at me." She looked away, embarrassed. He gently took her hand. They were ice cold and trembling. He lifted her chin. Her eyes were red, swollen, glistening. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked, voice breaking. "Why didn't you call me? Why suffer like this?" She gave the smallest smile, fragile as tissue. "Because I didn't want to be a burden," she whispered. "I didn't want to disturb your married life. She is your wife, and I'm just an old woman. Sometimes old people are difficult." Andrew shook his head instantly. "You're not difficult. You're not a burden. You're my mother." Her tears fell harder. Behind them, Lily swallowed nervously. Andrew turned around slowly, and his expression changed completely. No sweetness, no hesitation, no confusion, just fury. "Lily," he said, voice dangerously calm, "what exactly have you made her do?" Lily's fake smile faltered, but she kept her voice light. "Andrew, sweetheart, let's not turn this into something it's not. She came to me earlier saying she felt useless. I simply let her help a little to make her feel included." His mother shook her head discreetly, but fear held her silent. Andrew's eyes narrowed. "Tell me the truth," he said quietly. Lily stepped back. Andrew, why are you talking to me like this?" "Because I trusted you with my mother," he whispered, "and I came home to find her crying on the floor, cleaning like a servant." Lily hesitated. Her lips tightened. She wasn't prepared for him to come home midday. She wasn't prepared to be caught. She put her hands on her hips, dropping the sweet voice for a second before realizing it, then forcing the sugar back into her tone. "You're misunderstanding everything," she said, smiling again. "Come on, let's go upstairs and talk. You're tired. Maybe you didn't sleep well last night." Andrew stepped between her and his mother. "No one is going anywhere," he said. "Not until I understand exactly what has been happening in my house." His mother tugged his sleeve weakly. "Please, Andrew, don't shout. It's not good for your heart. I'm fine. Truly, I just need to rest a moment." He turned back to her, pain softening his expression. "I'm taking you upstairs," he said. "You're resting properly. No more work." His mother tried to shake her head. "No, I can walk." He held her gently. "You are resting," he repeated. "I'm not asking." Her lips trembled, not from fear, from relief. He picked up the tray and set aside, then helped her walk toward the stairs. Lily followed closely, panic in her eyes now. "Andrew, baby, please. You're blowing everything out of proportion." She wanted to help. "She explicitly asked me." Andrew turned, and his voice was so calm it scared her. "We'll talk," he said, "but not here, and not while my mother can hear." His mother squeezed his hand gently. "Don't be harsh on her," she whispered. "I don't want to cause fights." Andrew's jaw clenched so hard a muscle jumped his cheek. "You didn't cause anything," he said. "Not a single thing." He led her upstairs, step by careful step, while she kept insisting she was fine, even as silent tears slid down her wrinkled cheeks. She cried, but she tried to hide it. She wiped her face. She forced smiles. She insisted nothing was wrong. But Andrew saw everything. Every wince, every shaky breath, every forced word. And he knew this wasn't going to end with a conversation. This wasn't going to end quietly. He helped her into her room, tucked her into bed, brought her water, and held her trembling hand until she fell asleep, still whispering, "I'm fine. Sweetheart, don't worry." When he finally stood and stepped out of the room, he closed the door gently behind him. Then his expression changed. Like a storm had settled behind his eyes, like a man who had found a line crossed that could never, ever be uncrossed. His footsteps echoed through the hallway as he walked toward the living room where Lily waited. She flinched when she saw him. He didn't sit. He didn't blink. He didn't soften. "Now," Andrew said quietly, "you're going to tell me the truth." The air in the mansion shifted. Something irreversible had begun. Andrew's eyes never left his mother as he knelt beside her, brushing a loose strand of white hair behind her ear. Elaine's frail hands trembled in his, but this time there was no shame in her posture, only relief that someone had finally seen the truth. He could feel her silent sobs, restrained all these months, and it made his chest tighten with both anger and sorrow. "Mom, I'm so sorry," he whispered. "I should have come home sooner. I should have known. I should have." His voice broke. Elaine shook her head gently, weakly smiling through tears. "Andrew, it's not your fault. I didn't want to burden you. I didn't want to cause trouble." "You didn't cause trouble," he said sharply. "Clarissa did." She forced you to scrub floors, to polish glass, to fold laundry, to act like a servant in your own home. His voice rose with raw fury, echoing through the mansion's grand halls. All for what? For her arrogance? For her pride? For her fake sweetness? From the doorway, Clarissa's presence loomed. She had recovered just enough composure to speak, her tone sweet but brittle. Andrew, you're overreacting. It wasn't that bad. She wanted to help. She likes keeping busy. You know that. Andrew straightened, his expression cold and deadly calm. Busy? Busy? She's 80 years old. Clarissa, she deserves rest, dignity, and respect, not work that leaves her weak, exhausted, and humiliated. Elaine flinched slightly at his tone, but she let him speak. She had been silent too long. She had hidden her pain to protect others, and now it was time for the truth to be spoken aloud. Andrew, she began softly, I didn't want to upset her. That's the problem, he said, voice low and sharp. You were scared. You were scared to tell her the truth. Scared to say no. Scared because of what Clarissa might do. That's why she treated you this way. She made you feel like you were obligated to obey her whims, her orders, her every command. Clarissa's face twisted in fake surprise, then hardened into irritation. Andrew, don't make this bigger than it is. I didn't force her. She's my mother-in-law, yes, but she insisted. She wanted to stay active. Andrew stepped closer, the air around him practically vibrating with controlled rage. Insisted? Oh, so when my mother was on her knees scrubbing the marble floors, sweating and shaking, that was insistence. When she was folding laundry with aching hands, that was insistence. When she forced herself to smile and say she was fine, that was her choice. Clarissa faltered. I didn't realize. No, Andrew cut her off. You realized perfectly. You just didn't care. You just wanted control, to feel superior, to prove something to yourself. That's why you treated her like a servant in the house she built, the home she raised me in, the life she sacrificed everything to give me. Elaine's eyes filled with tears, and Andrew reached for her hand again. Mom, no more. Never again. Clarissa's face went pale. Andrew, what are you going to do? He exhaled slowly, the fury in his body coiling and tightening like a spring about to snap. What has to be done? She blinked, terrified. You can't just... Yes, I can. And I will. You've done enough harm. You've crossed every line. You humiliated her, and for that, you will face consequences. Not just a simple apology, not just a promise. You will leave, today, and legally, you will have nothing more than you are entitled to. Clarissa's lips trembled. Andrew, please, we can work this out. I can apologize. I'll treat her better. I'll make it right. Andrew's expression hardened. It's too late for that. You chose this path the moment you turned my mother into your servant. You've made your bed, Clarissa, and now you will lie in it outside this house. Elaine's hands tightened around Andrew. Andrew, are you sure? Divorce is so final. He nodded. I'm sure, Mom. I cannot let anyone treat you this way. Not her. Not anyone. This house, this family, this life. It will never allow such cruelty again. Clarissa's knees hit the floor as she sobbed, realizing her fate. Andrew, you're ruining everything. You're throwing away our marriage. You ruined it the moment you chose arrogance over respect. The moment you chose control over love. You are no longer welcome here, he said, voice steady and commanding. Your access to this home, this family, everything you tried to manipulate, is gone. My attorney will ensure you leave immediately, with nothing beyond what the law requires. You'll sign papers today. And after that, you are no longer part of my life. Tears streamed down her face. But Andrew's resolve never wavered. He turned back to his mother, lifting her gently from the sofa and supporting her to the hallway. Elaine's frail body rested against him, and for the first time in months, she felt safe, truly safe. As they moved toward her bedroom, the sunlight from the tall windows illuminated the dust-free marble floors, the very floors she had once been forced to polish herself. Now, they shone freely, untouched by humiliation. Andrew settled her in her chair near the window, the morning sun warming her wrinkled but proud face. Mom, this ends now, he whispered. No more hiding, no more suffering. From today on, this house belongs to you, and you alone will decide how it's run. Elaine's lips quivered, her voice soft. Andrew, I never wanted this fight for you. I only wanted peace. I never wanted to cause trouble. You've given more than anyone could ever ask for, Mom. And now it's my turn. She smiled faintly through her tears, the first real smile he had seen on her face in months. I feel safe. Andrew kissed her forehead gently, savoring the moment. You deserve to feel safe, always. Downstairs, Clarissa's cries had subsided into muffled sobs. The staff whispered among themselves, glancing nervously at the golden chandeliers and polished surfaces. Some looked grateful, others merely shocked, but all felt the change. The air in the mansion had shifted, a weight lifted, a justice served. Andrew descended the stairs slowly, his mother's chair following behind. He stopped in the grand hall, his sharp suit straight, his jaw tight, eyes steely. He looked at Clarissa one last time. This is your final warning. Leave today. My attorney will finalize the divorce. Any interference, any attempt to enter this house again will be met with legal action. You understand? She nodded miserably, too broken to speak. Her plans, her schemes, her control, all gone. Andrew turned, signaling to the housekeeper to guide her to her car. As she left, the staff looked on in silent awe. Andrew returned to his mother, holding her hand, their fingers intertwined like never before. "Mom, you're free," he said softly. "No more orders, no more fear. You dictate how this home runs. You've earned this." Elaine's eyes welled up again, but this time the tears were of relief and joy. "Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for seeing me, for protecting me." He smiled a rare, gentle smile. "I always will, Mom. Always." Days passed. The mansion hummed with a renewed sense of peace. Elaine could finally enjoy her days, reading in the sunlight, sipping tea in the garden, laughing freely without fear of Clarissa's scrutiny. Staff were instructed to care for her and respect her wishes above all. The home became a sanctuary once again. Andrew, meanwhile, oversaw the legal proceedings, ensuring Clarissa could never return without permission. Every document signed, every piece of property settled, reinforced the truth. His mother's dignity was untouchable. He watched as his mother thrived, as her smile returned fully, as her laughter filled the halls that had once echoed only with forced labor and fear. On the morning after Clarissa's departure, Andrew walked into the kitchen where his mother was preparing a light breakfast, her movements calm and deliberate, no longer hurried or exhausted. He watched her from the doorway, taking in the serenity she radiated. "Andrew," she said softly, noticing him, "you don't need to watch me all the time." He walked to her side, placing his hands gently over hers. "I don't want to watch, Mom. I want to be here with you. Always." Elaine smiled, tears brimming. "I never thought I'd feel this peace again." "You deserve it," he whispered, "more than anyone." The mansion, once filled with tension and fear, now rang with warmth and respect. Andrew's decisive actions had not only removed the toxicity but restored the rightful order, his mother at the center, empowered and revered. As he stood by the window, looking out at the sprawling gardens, he allowed himself a rare moment of satisfaction. Clarissa had been defeated, her arrogance and cruelty dismantled through legal means. His mother had been vindicated, her dignity restored. The house was no longer a place of oppression, but a sanctuary of love, respect, and family. And for the first time in years, Andrew Bain felt truly at peace, because he had done what no one else dared. He defended his mother, restored justice in his home, and reclaimed the sanctity of his family. The sun rose higher, casting golden light over the mansion, illuminating every corner with warmth and hope. Elaine, seated by the window with a steaming cup of tea, looked at her son, her hero, her protector. "Andrew, you've given me back my life," she whispered. "No, Mom," he said softly. "You never lost it. You just needed someone to remind the world who you truly are." And in that quiet moment, the mansion breathed again, alive with peace, laughter, and the triumph of love and justice over cruelty and arrogance.